While on Kindra's patrol on the perimeter, he hears something. It is Hercules. He wants to challenge Kindra for alpha of the pack. This is not uncommon behavior, as he has challenged before to be pack alpha and the leader. Kindra accepts his challenge. And the two get ready to face off. Pack alpha. They do not fight to the death, but until one is pinned to where the other one could easily get an advantage of and kill them. Hercules gets ready to charge. Hercules charges. He hisses at Kindra. He charges once more. Kindra responds more efficiently this time. Kindra does his own tactic. Pinning him to the ground, Hercules throws him off. These two do not usually like to draw blood, but sometimes, if it gets too intense, blood will be seen and tasted. He tries to pin Kindra down, but being so massive, it is not so easy. Kindra lunges him off. He steps back, letting Hercules have air to breathe. Kindra's not one to play nice, but today, he does. They lock arms and push each other with their neck force. Kindra appears to be winning, but Hercules gives him a nasty move. Kindra's leg isn't broken, but it is weak. He looks at Hercules, who needs to catch his breath. He overlaps his foot onto his face, showing dominance. He starts to crush down to teach him a lesson to not challenge the almighty king of the island. Hercules submits to his fate. And he is still the second alpha male. King just stares him down as Hercules leaves. He follows him back to the nest, but collapses. His leg starts to weaken. He is still king. Welcome to episode 4, where we shall visit the North Side. A lush, beautiful place. To kick off the North Side journey, I bring you to a migrating sauropod herd You might ask, why are they migrating? All of the sauropods in this herd happen to be female, and they're ready to lay their eggs. Brachiosaurus isn't the only one. Diplodocus. This happens to be a Diplodocus that has not evolved to reach highland foliage, just the lowland plains. A female Apatosaurus we see next. She is almost ready to lay her eggs, so she goes in a different direction, towards the nesting ground and not the feeding ground. A big female Apatosaurus is heading off to the feeding ground. And the slowest and smallest of them, Brachiosaurus, who's nowhere near ready to lay her eggs. And female Apatosaurus, who's on the same boat with her. They stick together. They're quite good friends. But there just happens to be a predator awaiting. Maposaurus rosea, giant carnosaur. This one happens to be the biggest he shall get. 12.7 meters long and 3 meters tall. He's a pack sauropod hunter. And by pack, he's not alone. He knows when the sauropods come. He's used to the time. He waits until he's ready, and the perfect time to strike. He edges closer, ready to strike. Another Maposaurus. This one happens to be female. She's only 10.2 meters long and 2 meters tall. This is averagely the size of a female Maposaurus. Some get bigger, but not often. She gets ready to engage, as she is the first part. She hisses at them, trying to have them scatter, but they only get in defense mechanism, which isn't terrible for them. The female Diplodocus gets in defense mechanism. With her whip-like tail, anything will die to a sudden blow. The Maposaurus rosea better stay away. Although the pack isn't after the Diplodocus, they're after one of the other sauropods. She's going to have to go around to get her target. The other Maposaurus gives them a scare. The huge female Apatosaurus swings her tail, standing her ground, not letting them get close to the smaller ones. As Brachiosaurus and Diplodocus fend off the female, the male tries to get to the younger Apatosaurus. But the younger Apatosaurus just so happens to be her daughter. And she won't get him anywhere close. The male has done his job. He has separated the Apatosaurs away from the other sauropods. And with his job being done, a third Maposaurus pops into view. The female sauropod gets up and tries to defend the female Maposaurus. but she lunges again. Flanks the bull female Apatosaurus and goes towards their victim. One of the female Apatosaurus has a tight grip on her back thigh. The male Apatosaurus brings her to the ground and tries to finish the job they started. The sauropods know it's too late for the other female Apatosaurus. They head off to the feeding ground, but they took a kill as well on the female Apatosaurus that started this. She has been slashed viciously and has been pronounced dead. The two Apatosaurus have successfully brought down this young Apatosaurus. This is the alpha of the Apatosaurus pack. They're bigger than 3. Well, now 2, but they are bigger. They have now gone down to 5. This seems a bit much, but a Apatosaurus had a big tribe. We shall name this one Mock. And this female Apatosaurus happens to be his mate. We shall call her Vendetta. They lighten the meal because this is quite heavy. They plan on bringing it to the pack so they can feed on it. While the Apatosaurus feasts, another predator is out hunting. Yes. It is part of the Tyrannosaur family, but it is not. This is Tarbosaurus. He's 40 feet long and weighs about 6 tons. A close relative to T-Rex. He's swifter, but smaller. He's not had food in weeks, and he's hunting for a fresh meal. Food is scarce in the north, with the Apatosaurus ruling with an iron fist. Most herbivores do not live up here. They generally come in seasons when they come to lay eggs, and this just not happens to be a Tarbo-friendly season. He could hunt a sauropod, but that is incredibly difficult for just a single Tarbosaurus. Although the Tarbosaurus thinks he's found himself some food. Not far is a female Gastonia. One of the only small food sources here. Most of them have moved down to the south to join herbivores in Herbivore Valley, which you may remember in episode 1. She goes off to find a place to lay her eggs. The Tarbosaurus charges. He goes for the leg. He lets go and goes for round 2. Trying to tip over the Gastonia. It's not that easy. It's an armored tank at best. He tries to reach over and bite the other leg, but it does not seem to get him anywhere. The Gastonia barely throws him off. He goes for round 3, but it's not such a good idea. The Gastonia leaves, he leaves the Tarbosaurus in pain. It's not often we've seen a carnivore lose to herbivore, but this just so happens to be the first. No fatal injuries, but definitely injuries that would have him back off. He leaves in shock along with pain. A predator has smelt fresh blood of a sauropod. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode.